Oh my goodness, how good is Parental Guidance? Season 3 is back. We've just had episode 2 last night on Channel 9. You can stream it and catch up on 9 now. G'day, welcome to the Happy Families podcast, real parenting solutions every day on Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast. My name's Dr. Justin Courson. I'm here with Mrs. Happy Families, Kylie. I love this show, Kylie, and I love sitting down with the kids and watching it. Bit of a heavy one last night, though.
What I love about the show is just the way it opens up dialogue with your family. And because we've got such a vast range of ages in our home, the way each of them perceives and is able to internalize the messages that are shared is so delightful.
Yeah, it really is. We do need to warn you, spoilers galore. If you haven't watched it, don't listen to the pod yet, or listen and then be prepared for what's coming. Last night, peer pressure, the long-standing struggle that is pushing kids to the edge. Can today's kids make friends? Do they practice consent? Can they resist toxic influences? Our focus parents were the same as episode 1.
Courtney and John, tell us about you.
We're the ProTech parents. We embrace technology in our everyday lives so that our kids acquire the skills that they need for their future. I socialise with my kids through technology because we will play games together, we will live stream together, we'll make content together.
How are you, Klein? I'm really good, thank you. How about yourself?
Gaming allows the children to socialise with their friends online and meet people online.
Thank you for the gifts.
It's very easy to succumb to peer pressure, so I think we've had a lot of conversations with them about standing up for what you believe in and making sure your voice is heard.
Amy and Mark. We're the active parents.
We choose fun and outdoor activities.
And we prioritise family time.
Ow! Oh, ow, ow!
As active parents, I'm all for risky play. Also, the backyard we built was a risky backyard. As active parents with peer pressure, we're constantly talking to the kids about it.
No means no. If they don't want to do something, they don't have to do something.
If you don't want to do it, just say no and walk away. Mark and Tammy.
We're the upfront parents.
And we still have old school values.
With open communication where knowledge is power. Do a silly man. We're the upfront family and we're all about proactive parenting, having open and honest conversations. Dinner's ready. Nothing is off limits. If our kids felt pressured by others, I would like to think that they can remember what we've been saying for 13 years.
Yeah.
Get him ready! Yeah! We rely on them knowing right from wrong. We've taught our kids to say no if they don't agree with something.
Our kids will definitely
Much
say
to our detriment sometimes. Since it's
Nathan and Joanne, tell us your preferred parenting style.
We're the traditional parents.
We have traditional mum and dad roles. We lead by example, being kind and disciplined with ourselves.
1, 2, 3.
We are traditional parents. We've chosen to parent our children with strong Christian values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We allow them to walk their path and we're going along protecting them and keeping them safe on it.
As traditional parents, I think our children can handle peer pressure very well and they have a very clear standard of what's right and wrong. That's based on our faith. If they're pressured to do something that crosses that line, then it's a hard no for them.
Okay, so last night was about peer pressure. We started off by highlighting that not all peer pressure is bad. I'm a really big believer in positive peer pressure. You become the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So who are you surrounding yourself with? If you can surround yourself with great people, you'll become a much better person. At the risk of oversimplifying, if you hang around with a bunch of kids who study, you're probably going to study. If you hang around with a bunch of kids who play Fortnite, you're probably going to play Fortnite. If you hang around with a whole lot of people who love to, go and hang out at Macca's and eat slushies and soft serves, then you're going to become that kind of person. You literally become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So we wanted to have a look at how kids are going with building healthy friendships. Healthy friendships are key for both good times and bad. And research, unfortunately, shows that loneliness is at an all-time high. And we know that kids are struggling to make friends, perhaps now more than ever before.
Within our church community, I've spent the last couple of years working with girls between the ages of 12 and 18, and a large percentage of them are all saying the same things. They have no friends. They feel isolated. They feel lonely. And yet what I'm seeing when I'm actually in these group settings is predominantly kids who are on their phone in spite of the fact that there's a room full of people.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They're looking down and as a result oblivious
To what's up.
to what's going on around them and who they might actually have a great friendship with if they just took the time to get to know them.
It never ceases to amaze me that you can be in a room of 20 or 30 people who are all feeling lonely, isolated, and want to make friends, but because you stare at your phone, you don't actually get to make the relationship leap and don't get there. So here's what we did. Let's set the scene. First challenge, it was a version of speed dating, but for kids. What we wanted to find out was, have the parents help their children to build the interpersonal skills to make friends?
In this challenge, each child will have 5 minutes to make a new friend before the bell rings and a new interaction begins. We want to see if the kids are comfortable using social conventions and are confident in new social situations, because these skills are their first lines of defence against negative peer pressure.
My name's Zach.
My name's Marshall.
Marshall's our most confident kid.
Yep.
Do you have any hobbies or anything?
Yeah, I like boxing. I've had 7 fights.
Oh, yeah? Have you won any?
Yeah, I think I've won 4 fights and lost 3.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the active parenting style will help him out with making new friends.
Building his confidence up.
Building confidence.
Hello, Jamie. Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You look lovely.
I think Rose is going to be a little bit nervous.
Are you enjoying the summer?
Yeah.
I feel a little bit nervous for her. She's only 12, though she's quite capable. I'm used to being with her.
Hello.
Hi.
Saxon.
Yeah, that's me.
Nice to meet you. I'm Rose.
Oh, yeah, good. Nice to meet you too.
Have you started back to school?
Yeah.
What grade are you in?
I'm in grade 8.
I'm in grade 8 too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You look much taller than me.
Yeah. Yeah. So you had like a great holidays?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. If I had to pick a friend out of everyone I met today, I would probably pick Saxon. Because, I don't know. I don't know.
Ooh, Nathan and Joanne, you're in trouble. What did you think of that?
That was very cute.
There was almost a bit of flirting going on.
Nathan, you're a dad of 2 girls. I'm a dad of 6 girls. When you see your daughter starting to show interest in a boy, it does something to you. And it's really tricky for dads to navigate their little girl growing up.
It's the first time I've kind of seen that, ever, and it's played back at you, and so it's kind of a little bit of a, well, I know what he's doing and I know what's happening there.
Yeah, but I mean, we got a long way to go before she's dating.
It is happening and you're just not told about it.
I was interested in boys. I remember grade 6. I think Joanne might be a bit naive to think that at 13 years of age, Rosie's not thinking about boys.
All right, so before we talk about Nathan and Joanne and our traditional parents, I just want to highlight our active parents nailed it. Amy and Mark, their son, chatty, conversational, curious, loved what he
was great.
Just loved what he did there. I really want to talk, though, about Nathan. Dad to 2 daughters. Obviously, I made the point that we have 6 daughters, but this really resonated for me. We've got our girls going through all kinds of different stages of being interested in boys. You're watching Rosie's flirting with the little young man who is sitting opposite her at the table. I mean, the flicking of the hair and the big smiles and the laughter. I mean, it was just, it was really delightful.
Why is it that a girl's positive behaviour is seen as flirting?
Oh, come on. That was flirting. You can't tell me. She was smiling. She was fluttering her eyes. She was flicking her hair. She didn't do that with anyone else that she spoke to. It was just that boy. That's why it was seen as flirting. If she was doing that with everyone, that'd be one thing, but she wasn't. What I want to ask you is, what do you think that we've done in our family, or maybe even what you've specifically done as a mum of 6 girls, as our daughters have developed relationships and friendships with boys?
I grew up in a really strict home, quite very traditional and with strong Christian values. And as a result, having a relationship with a boy any time before I was 32 was probably ridiculously taboo. So I couldn't come home and tell my mum that there was a cute guy in my class or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I've really, really focused on with our girls. I want them to know that it's actually completely normal for them to be interested, for them to have eyes on, for them to, kind of want to have these close relationships with boys. So for me, the biggest thing has been helping them to recognise that conversations around boys is not taboo. And then if we extend on that, it's about having those tricky conversations with them regularly and helping them to understand what age-appropriate relationships are with the opposite sex.
There's an observation that the Protect parents made that we do need to just tap into.
I think there's a risk of the traditional parents wrapping their kids in cotton wool and not letting them experience the real world.
Their views are really outdated.
So reflecting on that, Justin, what are 3 tips that you would suggest to help navigate through the early stages of puberty?
Yeah, I mean, when I think about this whole scenario, and we're going to get to more after the break, but for me, seeing children who are socially adept, they're able to make an argument that they're a friend worth having. They're able to reach out and connect with other people. I think I would say more time face-to-face, less time in front of screens. The more practice you get at it, the better you get at it. People don't want to meet people nowadays because it's too anxiety-inducing, and that really concerns me. I think, though, that especially with younger kids, there still has to be appropriate levels of supervision, like organise the play dates, organise the get-togethers, bring the kids over for a little bit of a hangout on the back deck and provide the milkshakes and the treats and have them swim in the pool and facilitate those kinds of get-together opportunities where there is some parental oversight. And last of all, I mean, you've already talked about it with our kids, regular chats, just regular conversations about what friendships are working and what friendships aren't and how it feels to introduce yourself to the new kid in class. It's not rocket science, but doing these basic things gives the kids such an early advantage in terms of being socially flexible, agile, and adept. After the break, a little bit more on how kids are doing when it comes to meeting strangers and striking up friendships for the first time. Okay, we're talking about the speed dating, how do kids go making friends and meeting new people from episode 2 of Parental Guidance. Here's some more audio from what happened in last night's conversations.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My name's Samuel. What's yours?
My name's Archer.
As upfront parents, Archer going out to meet new people, I don't have any concerns about that. I know by us being able to have conversations with our kids, it's probably given them the confidence to then go and maybe approach people and speak to them as well.
Do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, I like to play football, basketball. I like to play video games.
Nice. I like to play video games as well.
Yeah.
I feel like every teenager does nowadays.
I'm not going to get addicted to gaming and stuff like other people.
Hi. What's your name?
Archer, what's your name?
Natasha.
Do you play any sports?
Yeah, I play basketball.
Same.
And I used to do swimming. So.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name's Landon.
I'm Hugo.
It's good, thanks. Nice to meet you.
As Protect parents, people often assume that because our kids are on technology that they will turn into screen zombies.
Milkshakes are good.
We can see that they can be at home but still socialise.
I think online friends are better because you don't have to see them all the time.
That's the real answer.
Do you play any games?
Yeah, I play Fortnite.
I play Fortnite as well.
Nice. What level are you?
I don't really know what level I am, but I'm over 200.
Over 200. I'm only 100.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. What is your favourite thing to do with friends? Probably play Fortnite. I'd probably go shopping. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Let's have a listen to some of the feedback from the group around the tech-savvy kids.
Like watching Landon kind of reminded me of myself when I was young. Yeah. I was hooked to the screens, the video games, and I was very antisocial. I couldn't hold conversations. Yeah. You can see he wasn't comfortable being in that. Like he's normally used to probably chatting to the people online, which to me to us, it's actually a concern.
I think that's where the concerns of us who don't do much screen time, we feel that negatively affects ability to form relationships and things like that.
Exactly.
You even mentioned, which I think's a bit of a dangerous narrative, is online friends are better.
Our panel of parents had some really good observations, but I really want to hone in on it. This idea, watching the Protect's son's lack of eye contact. He couldn't hold a stare at all. But I think the thing that really stood out to me was he was really happy to answer the questions, but he had no questions of his own. There was no curiosity. There was no ability to maintain and to build on the conversation that had been gifted him.
Yeah, those social skills are so important. Unless, of course, the conversation was about Fortnite. Fortnite, yep. If it was about Fortnite, he was pretty happy to get in there. I don't know where that came from. I'm so sorry.
So is there any evidence of a correlation between screen time and meaningful relationships with young people?
So this is the thing that really annoys me about science. It takes a long time to get really good research happening, and to do good quality studies, to have them published and disseminated is a process. So I have to preface what I'm about to say with there's not a lot of evidence. There's not a lot of solid evidence, and the evidence that we do have does tend to point generally in one direction, although it's still a little bit mixed. Basically, when screens are involved in a conversation, like if you and I are sitting here and there's a phone on the table, we're typically going to rate our conversation partner as less interested, less interesting, less empathic, and we're going to say that the conversation was less enjoyable. Whereas if there is no device on the table, we tend to find people more enjoyable, more empathic. We find the conversation more satisfying. There is some data, limited data, that indicates that compulsive screen users may be less socially adept, but I don't think that it's particularly strong at this point. My suspicion, my hypothesis is that this is a concern, it is a problem, and we need to do the stuff that we've talked about in this podcast to help children to learn how to navigate social situations, reduce the anxiety, be curious about one another, ask questions, and have fun in social settings. We are ultra social as a species, and it's bad for our species if we stop connecting.
What are some suggestions or advice you would give to parents specifically around helping their kids find a balance between friendships in the real world and their online worlds?
Yeah, I'd just say, you and I know this because we emphasize it so much in our home. Minimize screens, encourage the kids to be outdoors with people, being active, and have a really good mix of both structured and unstructured activities so that they're developing skills, they're having enriching opportunities, they're getting coached in things that are important to them, like playing the drums or playing netball or whatever, but they're also being social and being able to climb trees, ride bikes, go to the local park, do that kind of stuff. They need to have these face-to-face experiences.
I just think this is all about intention. As parents, we actually have to be intentional about providing opportunities for our kids. I look at the relationships that our girls have, and the one thing that really surprises me is we've got a handful of friends that because of location, we haven't been able to spend a lot of time with them at all. We might catch up with them once every 12 months. But as they've grown, they've actually gravitated to those relationships as they've gotten older because they've gotten in. They've had shared experiences, and in spite of the fact that they haven't had a mass amount of time together, they have been building slowly a relationship that works.
So that's about it for today. Tomorrow, we're going to focus on those conversations that you need to have with your children about consent. This was one of my favorite parts of last night's episode. A huge thank you to Justin Rulon, our producer for our podcast, Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Craig Bruce is our executive producer during the Parental Guidance series. We appreciate his guidance and support as well. And Mim Hammonds provides all of our research and admin support. If you'd like more information and resources to make your family happier, visit us at happyfamilies.com.au. We'll see you tomorrow.